Romo, what has he ever done except be a loser?
What? He's the definition of the American dream.
Since when have Americans been dreaming about losing?
Alright, I want to talk about the biggest news last week was Tony Romo retiring from the NFL, who I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to say this. I know you say that I throw the word great around too often.
Yeah.
And you get on me for...
don't tell me you're getting ready to throw it around now.
You get on me for not my favorite players are supposed to only be on my favorite team. I mean, you're the hardcore Raiders fan.
Yeah.
And I'm just the hardcore 49ers fan that I am. This is my living room, by the way. But Tony Romo might be my favorite player. Because, I mean, dude, the guy was undrafted and turned himself into the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, coming out of Eastern Illinois. You ever heard of that? I don't think so.
And I don't want to hear about it.
And guess what? If you're going to Eastern Illinois, you're not highly recruited. You're a nobody. And he turned himself into... he's the greatest fourth quarter quarterback, only behind Peyton Manning in NFL history, if you look at the statistics.
Man, you know what? That's a classic example why stats lie. You gonna sit up here and tell me Tony Romo is great?
He had the second most come from behind victories behind Peyton Manning.
You know what that means? He was always behind.
Oh, look at his team.
I don't really think being a come behind, this whole thing they throw around about being comeback. All that mean is you was a weak starter. You fell behind and you had to scrap to get back.
He didn't exactly have Bill Polian building his roster for him.
Let me tell you something.
Jerry Jones.
You're going to sit here and say he's great.
Jerry Jones fired Tom
How many
Landry
playoff
and Jimmy
games
Johnson.
have he won?
One.
2.
Did he win 2? Oh, yeah, that's right.
He won 2. How many?
Should have been.
How many NFC championship games have he went to?
Well, he got robbed of the one.
How many Super Bowls have he been to?
Well, he would have been there because...
Can you tell me in history,
Yeah.
in any sport, any player who's been considered great without at least getting to a championship game, if not this, like in the AFC, I mean in football.
How do you not
in football, you never made it to a Super Bowl. You never made it to the NFC Championship. That would be like in basketball. You never made it to the conference finals. You never made it to the finals. In the baseball, you never made it to the World Series. You never made it to the ALCS and NLCS. And you gonna say you're great? Great at being what? Great at being a loser.
How can you not be impressed from where he came from?
All these pathetic Cowboy fans who think that Tony Romo is great, that's garbage. He is not,
Actually, there's a lot of...
And you a 49er fan saying he's great. That's blasphemy.
Look at what he's done.
What has he done? All he's done is the loss.
What? Oh my goodness.
He's a loser.
He's a winner.
He's a loser.
And now,
what has he won?
And now,
what has he won?
And now,
and he's not going to the Hall of Fame.
I don't think he'll go to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he shouldn't.
Because like you said, he hasn't gotten the postseason success. I mean, he was cursed to go to the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, let's think of some of the things he did during the regular seasons.
What do you got?
Like when he turned the ball over on the last drive or something. Or how about the one when all he had to do was pick up the ball and fall on it and he tried to throw the ball away. I mean, what did he do?
Everybody's got stuff like that.
He's a loser. And he knows how to lose. He developed those kind of skills.
He's a winner.
He's nothing.
Just where he came from and to where he got.
Look,
That's unbelievable.
as much as it pains me to think about it, where did Jerry Rice come from?
Well, he was a first-round pick, though.
Where did he come from?
I agree with that. Yeah.
So what was it? Something like Mississippi Valley. Mississippi Valley, unheard of.
Delta Devils.
And so when you get talking about where he came from, it's a lot of players in history came from some little backwoods town, or not even a town, come from some little mud hole somewhere and then made it big.
Jerry Rice isn't a quarterback. I'll give you somebody, though. Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
Bagging groceries and stuff.
He wasn't drafted. Where did he go to school?
Was Arizona, I think. Was it Arizona? It was one of them Arizona schools, I think. So you don't think he went to Arizona?
No, I don't think so.
Check it out while we're talking about it. I think he went to somewhere.
This is what people want to watch right here.
Yeah. While you doing that, let's go back to Romo. Romo's never done nothing. Never done nothing except be a loser.
Oh, man, I was going to say Northern Iowa. Damn.
Oh, he's from Northern Iowa?
I knew that.
Okay.
Why did I know that?
Oh, well.
Yeah, and then he played in the Arena League and NFL Europe before the Trent Green injury.
All right.
Oh, let's talk about how great Kurt Warner is now. So then, even though he was on the Rams and the Cardinals, which are my rivals, whatever. So, yeah, he goes to the Arena League and the NFL Europe. Trent Green goes down, and then that incites the greatest show on turf for the St. Louis Rams. They win the Super Bowl. They go to another, and then they give up on him, and he has to go to the Giants. Remember this?
Yeah.
And he's the backup for Eli Manning.
You know what?
Then he goes to the Cardinals, which is like the worst franchise in the NFL besides maybe the Lions. And what does he do?
I was rooting for him along the way. You know why?
Because he's playing against the Niners.
Because you're right. Every now and then he got to play against the 49ers and he beat the brakes off of them. Anybody to beat the... But you know what? Romo let the 49ers beat him a couple of times. That's really... it's just no excuse for losing to him.
That's what's got you all sour.
Whenever you lose to the 49ers, it's ticking me off.
So Tony Romo is going to be the number one analyst at CBS. So I guess the Cowboys broke off his contract. Like, they released him before he retired. He's no longer a property of the Cowboys, is what I keep seeing.
Yeah.
Which boggles my mind, because if I'm the Houston Texans, I go to Tony Romo and say, what do you need?
Well.
Right? You got to give him that.
I'm not sure. How many people wants to pay a loser? And first of all, we don't know what kind of wording was put into his break off with. They might have put a clause in there that he can't.
They can't just cut him loose like that, because I think they were like trying to get like a first round pick from Houston, or Denver was the other team that was looking for Tony Romo. They had to have been doing something like that.
I think they put some kind of clause in there saying that if it don't work out and he comes back into football, he can't come back to the Houston team.
Yeah, or anybody else for that matter.
Or
if anybody gets injured.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to call
him.
Well,
if you retire, I think even after you retire, I think like with Beast Mode.
Yeah.
We tried to get Beast Mode.
But he's still property.
But he's still property of the Sea Chickens.
Yeah. So the Cowboys, they have to have something like that, because if I'm Houston and that is an option, I'm only saying this because I've seen two people in the media, I think it was Clay Travis and Eric Mangini, say that the Romo is no longer property of the Cowboys.
Well, but look at it this way.
So if I'm Houston, what do you need?
This is just, once again, I'll tell you about the value of Romo. Here it is. Beast Mode didn't even play last year, and the year before they only had 300-some yards. And he's a running back in his 30s who usually don't have any value. And here he is potentially coming back to the Raiders, and we might have to give up something to get him.
Well,
and you ain't got nobody offering anything, and he's a quarterback from the most crucial spot on the team, and ain't nobody even offering him a 7th-round draft consideration.
Let me tell you why they want Beast Mode. Because he's going to be your Oakland mascot. To try to calm everybody down about leaving Oakland. They'll have your hometown boy come in.
Well, you can say what you want to, but if he come and start running wild and stuff, he's going to be more than that.
Oh, well, maybe that'll happen.
But the point I'm trying to make is,
I'll tell you one
it's
thing.
at least one team out there who wants beast mode. There is nobody out there apparently who wants Romo.
That's probably not.
Because it's an indictment on what kind of career he done had.
That's indictment.
He's fragile.
That would be an indictment
He
on
is
how
so
dumb
fragile.
GMs are
If you
they
just
don't want him.
barely touch him, he's hurt.
He had a whole year off. He should be ready to go now.
He reminds me of this worthless bum that the Warriors had, Bogut. I call him Bogus.
Not even close.
What Bogus? He come into and hurt
Why are you bringing him up?
because he's just as fragile as
He ain't
Romo.
nowhere near as valuable.
Apparently,
Look at
if you listen to all these NBA analysts, they're up there, oh, the Warriors wasn't going to be lose. They lost Bogut. Like, every time somebody say they lost Bogut, I'd be up there like, we didn't lose him. That was the best thing ever happened
The
to
Dallas
us.
Cowboys got robbed in Green Bay. Remember when Dez Bryant caught like the most unbelievable catch ever, reached over with the ball over the end zone line?
I can't recall.
So after that, they would have gone to Seattle, and they'd already beaten Seattle in Seattle earlier in that season, and would have faced was that the New England or
Well,
whichever Super Bowl
so
it was.
we're looking at it this way.
And guess what happens? So the Cowboys were 12-4 that year, right?
Yeah.
The next year, Romo gets hurt. What happens to the Cowboys? Same roster, 4-12.
Every team, when you lose your starting quarterback, most of the time they go down like that. But you know what? If we're talking about what ifs, you know I'm a Raider fan. What if a lot of things, if Brady, if they wouldn't have called that bad call, we'd have been going to the Super Bowl.
Imagine if
what
Romo
if?
was available and Derek Carr got hurt like last year. Imagine what you guys would have gone if you would have signed Romo instead of having that Michigan State guy.
You know what? He
Whatever
got
his
hurt.
name was.
He got hurt in the next to the last game of the year, so that means Romo could probably last for one game.
Oh man, he would have come in and taken the Raiders to the Super Bowl.
You think he could have made a 4-game run?
Oh baby.
You
I'm
think
telling you right
Romo's
now.
got that?
I'm telling you right now.
Has
Next year,
Romo ever made a 4-game playoff run
I'm
to the
telling
Super
you
Bowl?
right now. Next year, he ain't staying in that CBS booth. Somebody's gonna come after him.
They're going to be pretty desperate.
And I think the only reason why he's not available, because I don't believe Clay or Eric Mangini, the Cowboys must still have property of him. And if Dak Prescott gets hurt, he's coming out of the booth.
Oh, God. I
Man.
just don't... I don't know how you got this much faith in Romo.
Oh, man.
I mean, he's never done nothing but lose.
He's a man.
Oh, God. And you a 49er fan.
God.
I swear
Grinder.
you would think you...
The ultimate-
you would think you
the
would
ultimate
like...
grinder.
You would think you would Skip Bayless's father and son.
Yeah, I used to
I
watch.
mean, you putting up a better fight for Romo than Bayless is doing.
I don't know about that. Oh, he used to call him Tony Romeo. Remember that?
Oh,
He wasn't always driving that Romo bandwagon.
well, he sure drove it until Prescott came this past year, because halfway through the season, he was still on Romo's jock.
I'll conclude with this. If I'm the Houston Texans, whatever it takes, you got to get him. Because Tom Savage isn't going to do it. If Tony Romo goes to Houston, New England's probably the favorite in the AFC. Houston would be the second best team in the AFC.
Don't you know
Your
it's
thoughts?
a team called the Raiders in the AFC?
That's why I said that.
And I don't care who their quarterback is. We going to beat Houston. You can count on that.
If you don't have Derek Carr, you're not beating Houston.
But
Exhibit A.
we
last
got
season.
Derek Carr.
Yes.
We can't say if he don't get hurt. With Romo, we know he'll get hurt. History says he will get hurt. He's an accident waiting to happen.
Okay, now you sound like Stephen A.
Hey, well, you know what? Great minds probably think alike.